Life is a beautiful mess. A beautiful mess. Yeah. Life is a beautiful mess. A beautiful mess. Yes. Life is a beautiful mess. A beautiful mess. I'm trying, I'm crying, I feel like I'm dying. I'm doing my best. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody.
Hey,
Did you hear
hey.
that? That was my news anchor voice.
This is Channel 6 News coming at you.
We are back, baby. We are back. Yeah, we're back. Welcome back to Being Human and Other Shit. We took a longer hiatus than normal because we had some technical difficulties. But had an amazing summer and don't regret a single moment of it. Got our little feet wet the other day and was very like we didn't know what to do.
Yeah, I'll say it. I did not push record, so we did already record a whole ass episode as our opener, and we got to do a redo. So this is our redo.
Dude, you pushed record. I don't know what happened, but you
Hey,
did.
you'll always have my back, man.
Dude, you did push record. I just feel it in my soul.
I was like, I wouldn't have sat down, but I don't know what happened. Anyways,
Yeah.
it didn't record.
We're not gonna revisit it because it's been a hard couple days for her.
It's still killing me. And now here we are in the evening of a Monday after work.
Everybody's gonna be like, this podcast is turning these bitches complaining about weekdays. It's like, dude, come do our job. It's so hard. Like, oh my God, it's so hard.
Weekdays are
But
hard.
anyway, we're super pumped to be back. We had a great first episode that we will re-record with our guests. We'll mention it when it gets there. But
Yeah,
I actually wanted to do this anyway. I think it was just timing with everyone's schedule. I wanted to do our opener, just me and you,
me too.
kick it old school and really just catch up. And, for the people who give a shit, give them like a update on kind of how our summer was, our 4 months off, and what's changed in our lives. Because I'm sure people follow us on social media. They know the kind of big change you had. And I want to talk about that.
Okay.
So yeah, so why don't you
I think
start?
just what we have coming up to like in the coming months, which is awesome. Like just a couple trips and stuff with the friends, which is awesome. We always look forward to every year.
Hell
And
yeah.
I feel like this time we like planned it kind of later than we usually do, and I was getting nervous that it wasn't going to happen, but you and I always pull through with the
Dude, we do. You and I make it happen, honestly. I'm just like, it's almost like their trips are like the podcast where it gets harder to get everybody together. And I'm always like, ooh, like one of these cabin trips gonna end, but it always pulls through.
Yeah.
Right. And it's like, and I actually feel like when we sent the text initially this time, that it was an almost immediate response.
Yeah.
And
like, I'm in. They just needed somebody to be like, this is
to get it together. Yeah. Somebody to gather. And we get a couple not new to you or new to me, but people that have never been on the trip with us. We're really excited to welcome. So that's gonna be super fun. And obviously Aaron. That's gonna be super fun merging kind of the best of both worlds for you, obviously, and I love them too. So I'm excited for them coming. And now Alex and Lonnie have been coming on most of our trips. So our group has only gotten bigger, and it's harder at our age to merge people and everybody get along. Yeah. So I'm really happy that's happening. Like your 40th kind of kicked it off, like, dude, seriously, thank you for turning 40. Oh my God. But no, that was so fun. Talk about what's happening.
Hard, man. Like,
do you feel like turning 40 is hard?
So I understand this year has been, I feel like my hormones are changing.
100%.
I think with my body, it's hard. With my mind, it's been better. Like, in the sense that like you do start to give less fucks. And so I find my voice a little bit more, and like everything everybody says positively about turning 40 has happened. I don't feel like they're always as honest about what happens with your body. And like it's harder to like do things. Like my hormones are just like all over the place, and it makes me feel like a crazy person sometimes.
No, I agree. It's funny you say that because with like all the trips I took this summer, which I'll get into, and even the extra work I did, I had to take out a loan for my admin credentials. So, not in a position to spend as freely as I did. Obviously, Kate moved out in January, and I think I went a little too hard this summer where I was like, what are you doing traveling like you still have a roommate? So just like being completely transparent, like I haven't been getting Botox. And for most people that know me, like I used to not, I don't really like to talk about it a lot because I feel like people are always like, oh, that's why you don't look 42. It's like, no, look at my mom. She's 65 and she looks like she's 50. Like, I'm lucky to come from a mom and genetics where I look younger than I do. It's always been a preventative thing, but I felt that way where like the other day I looked in the mirror like, oh my God, I can like my forehead's squishy, like, all these things, but it's also been a good thing because I don't like feel ugly or feel bad, but post 40, I definitely am like, damn, sometimes I look at pictures even of 36 and I'm like, I look so much better than like, what the hell, And I don't know if it's your own mind playing tricks on you, if it's really just like you start to age.
Yeah. I feel like I've noticed myself aging more. And by the way, you look better than you have ever looked in your entire life.
Oh my God. Same for
no BS. But actually being one of your closest friends, I did not even notice that you stopped doing Botox, which is fantastic because
hey, not saying I'm not going to start again. I just need to get need to get some money.
I need to catch up on some.
I just have to pay my bills first. I'm responsible, so
I might start. It's been so that's being 40, like a lot of beautiful things have come out of that. And I just feel like my body's starting to feel it. And I feel like I'm aging a little bit more.
I don't disagree. I mean, I think, when we ended, I had just had diverticulitis like towards, in May and got a colonoscopy, which I could talk about, which was, I thought fucking awesome. I don't know what all the negativity around it was. I thought it was amazing. Cleaner. Dude, I lost 7 pounds. Like everybody's like, oh, you have to stay home for a whole day and drink this like salty liquid. And I'm like, that sounds like Friday nights. I don't understand like why everyone's upset. Tasted like I had an ice cold, like salty Gatorade for the whole day and like shit my pants and was fine. It was not bad. I got to go to sleep, like had a good sandwich after and felt great. Like my skin was clear from Mexico. I don't know why everybody hates it so much. I loved it. But yeah, just that, like that stuff, like dealing with an OBGYN and a doctor who are like post 40, no matter really how much exercise you do, it's not going to make a huge difference. It's about what you eat, and been trying to be more like cognizant, and I'm fasting again. I've been fasting again for almost 2 months. So that's been really helpful. But post 40, you really, it's like, it's so hard. Like weight doesn't budge. It's hard.
Yeah. And everything that you do has some sort of effect on your body, whether it's positive or negative, depending on what you're gonna like put into it. And so,
like your mushroom coffee.
Yeah. My mushroom coffee.
I'm still dead about
got some different. I got a chai one now that is on the way. So I'm going to try that, but the matcha one's good.
What started this and like, what are the benefits?
It helps with inflammation and stuff, whatever, like all these mushrooms are supposed to do, but it's supposed to help with inflammation and like your just system in general and help you sleep better and all this stuff that all of these supplements tell you they're supposed to do. So
do you feel like it's been helpful?
I think so. I feel like it might have more caffeine than I'm used to, so I have to be careful with it because I don't really drink much I don't drink coffee, so it feels like it gives me, and it's supposed to be like more of a natural energy, but maybe it's more energy than I'm used to like ingesting. I don't know.
Did you see this on TikTok? Is that how it started?
No, this one was Instagram. The one that I'm trying now is Ruiz, and that's just like all over the place, I feel like. And then I ordered some mud water to try, so we'll see what that
God, and that just does not sound good.
I know. Poor choice of naming there.
Well, yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I feel like that's like at 40, like all this year has been me trying to like try different supplements to make myself feel better. And then I have to get like biannual mammograms because I have a family history of breast cancer, and
that shit sucks. I don't care. I am not one that cares about medical procedures. Obviously, I just talked about like sticking a tube up my ass, but like nothing bothers me. Give me the straps, feet in, get in there and scrape around. Do squeezing your titty like that? That sucks. Is that what you're talking about when they do this titty squeeze?
Yeah, and I have to do an ultrasound.
That shit sucked.
I have like a spot that they're like watching and making sure, because I have a 1 in 3 chance of getting breast cancer. And like, so I have to
terrifying.
Go every 6 months. I know. I go next week, so I'll keep you posted. But I mean, I'm also blessed to be able to go and get this stuff watched. And if anything were to come, I'm confident that it would be caught early enough because I have healthcare and, so I'm able to do all of that. And so yeah, I just feel like, the older we get, the random shit that we have, like, who would have thought you would have got fucking diverticulitis? What is it called?
Diverticulitis.
It's like I couldn't even
Diverticulitis.
Diverticulitis.
Yeah. A friend of mine, a good friend of mine, her husband just had surgery to remove, like, because his was like way worse than mine.
Jeez Louise. It's
yeah,
like
2
pockets
weeks
or something, right?
Yeah, it's like like pockets on your colon that get inflamed, and it can happen to anybody. Because I do think, like, I'm not a hypochondriac. I'm very fortunate. I don't get sick very often. And I think some of that has to do with I'm around like nasty little kids all day. My immune system is fucking solid, but like I don't really have a lot of health issues. I'm very lucky considering I could lose some weight. There's a lot of things I could do better. But so when that happened, I was like very much internally freaking out at the ER, and I was trying to just make everybody, I think everybody knows when I'm like sending everybody like, hey, I'm in the ER, just so you know, I'm okay. I'm sure everybody's like, she's fucking freaking out, but she's trying not to like, she just keeping people updated. It's like, no, I'm actually freaking out, but I do stress a little bit. And it's really like my doctor was just like, this is nothing for you to be so stressed about. Like it could literally happen to anybody. It's not caused by diet. It's an inflammation in your colon, and it's what it is, Yeah. But if it gets bad, if people keep getting it, that's like my friend, her husband had to have the surgery. So
no bueno.
Wild.
So that's aging. So we're aging. So hopefully we can continue aging gracefully, but I got hit kind of hard when I turned 40. I was like, Tess and I were just talking about this too. I was like, man, there's good stuff that came with it, but I was not expecting like to feel all the other stuff.
It's kind of like the opposite. Like you feel, I think for me, I felt relief and very like I don't really give a fuck already, but I felt less fucks where I was just like, whatever, dude, I don't really care. I'm not gonna stress out something I can control. But physically you feel worse.
Yeah. It's
weird. Right. So and it is. It's so odd. Like, I don't know, but yeah, who knows?
So there's that.
So there's that. We were under 40 when we started this.
Yes, we were. Both of us were under 40. We were just young little ducklings.
We were just young spring chickens when we started this. All right. Anyway, okay, tell me about your summer. You what?
I said, well, the other stuff, I guess that went down that what didn't have to do with aging. I got engaged.
And buttholes.
Yeah. Got engaged. So didn't really think that I would be a get married kind of girl, but apparently I am now. So planning to
You really quite literally did not know how to like react. Like you text me like this bitch is crazy, and I'm like, what the fuck? I was like sitting by a pool in LA with Kate. Yeah. She's like, what? And I was like, I think Melissa's engaged. And I FaceTime you and you're just like, I know, I don't know. And I'm like, she so does not know how to act right now.
Like I didn't think I would ever be engaged to or like proposed to. And I just didn't, I don't know, I didn't feel like until this relationship, I guess I didn't really feel like marriage was like overly important or anything.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to like shift so quickly when you are with somebody. So,
but isn't it exciting?
Yeah, it is exciting. It's kind of like weird that like I'm gonna have a wife,
right? I'm gonna. It's exciting though too because you guys are very much committed to doing it your way. Mm-hmm. You're not getting caught up in the like, let me do what makes everyone else happy, and you're very much accommodating yourselves. And I'm obviously so fucking grateful to be a part of it, and I know the other 3 that are in it are very grateful to be a part of it. So everyone's looking forward to it. So it's going to be super fun. And, we all had our cry fest when you asked us to be there. And I stand by that. It's a surreal moment to see you so happy after seeing you. That we've said it a million times. You were never like an unhappy person, right? Like never want to get down here and represent your last relationship as if you were unhappy.
Yeah.
But it wasn't at some point it became not the relationship for you anymore. And I think for her too.
Oh yeah.
So it's like
grew apart when it came to that part. But we are still very much good friends, and she was just over
family
last weekend. So yeah, she'll always be family to me.
Yeah. So it's like look at and it's exciting to see the transition with Casey. And I felt the same way when I was engaged. I was like, never thought I'd like give a shit about this, but when you're gonna marry the right person,
Yeah.
It's exciting.
Very, yeah, it's exciting. And to your point, like just being like neither one of us wanted to have a wedding. And so I think we're even doing more than we thought we were going to do with the ceremony, but it's exactly what we want it to be. There's, just our witnesses, an officiant, and our houseboy.
Our errand boy.
Our errand boy. Our chauffeur.
He's our everything. Poor guy. He's like, why the fuck did I say yes to this?
Oh,
I'm like, Aaron, I'm parched.
We need to get some bells.
I need a cocktail.
Yeah, so it's gonna be awesome.
He's gonna be like, shut the fuck up.
Like, Staci, god damn it. Yeah, so we're gonna just elope pretty much. What you want to share some of your stuff? We could just go back and forth because I then took a couple of trips, one not so good and one was pretty good. It was great, actually.
I'm trying to think. Okay, so June, I think I said this last summer. I worked summer assessments. So basically I was out of work on a Wednesday and then I went camping at Pinecrest for 3 days and that was awesome. That was a great way to kick my summer off. Love Pinecrest so much. I mean, I don't think I'm blowing up the spot because it's so fucking packed. You can never get in. Found an inn, went, had a great time with the people I was with and had a good spot. Everyone around us was cool. So that was a great way to kick off the summer. And then I worked June and it was fun because I got to work with my friend Allison, who was like my favorite little weirdo at work with me. She totally matches my energy. So that was fun, but always forget that I need that time off to recharge, So it's like, yeah, the extra money was nice and I obviously needed it. And that's why I did it for school to pay off stuff. But it's just hard to work June and then the summer feels really short, especially because I basically was gone. I think I was home for like 7 days in July.
Dude, you did so much. You do so much every summer, but this summer I was like, dude, I feel like until the day you were ready to go back, you were like doing shit.
Oh my God.
You're going hard.
I have this like the thing is during the school year, I don't really do as much, Like there's been multiple weekends since I've been back that I've just been like rotting in my house for 3 days, just like cleaning or chilling or reading or whatever, But during the summer, it's like this overwhelming need to do all these things. And like, I already had a week trip planned with my family to Arnold, which was super fun. You never know with family trips.
Yeah.
And my family is like, sometimes depending on who shows up, it could go left. There was definitely a couple moments that I was like, the fuck is happening? But for the most part, it was such a good time. And I think my nieces and nephews are a little older. My sister didn't get to go, unfortunately, so we really missed her, but they're older, so we don't have to be on them so much. And my Auntie Nell got to go with her granddaughter, and it felt nostalgic to us going to Tahoe with my grandma every year and my whole family. And my Auntie Nell would always come. And it's like we would wake up, we'd make sandwiches, peanut butter and jelly or whatever. We pack up, go to Lake Tahoe, and then come home all sunburned and happy, and make dinner and ride bikes. And Tahoe's so expensive now. We went to Arnold, but it was just so fun. Every day we got to paddleboard and kayak, and I got to spend a lot of time with Mikey, which I cherish. And he's super into paddleboarding, bought a paddleboard since then because he loved it and the kids loved it. Like it just was cool. Every day that was like, we would either take all the kids together or I would take one and we would like, I try to be very like interactive as far as I'm a teacher and me like talking about what's in the water and what's around us and the gratitude we should have. And it's like, they just soak it up and they're so receptive and they're so expressive back and like, trying to give me the answers or giving me the answers of the things they see. And it just was came home and told my mom, like, that was one of my favorite family vacations.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And watching my mom and my auntie now relax and they've raised their kids and their grandkids and like they got to just chill. I didn't feel overworked. I didn't feel like I was doing too much. So it was a good time. Awesome. It was hot as fuck, but it was fun.
Really? Does your mama and Auntie Nell get to spend much time together?
They literally live like around the corner from each other.
So they hang
all the time. And my Auntie Nell has a pool. So like they were all over there yesterday. And my Auntie Nell is just this like magical human who she's everybody's favorite, She's just like, I know what it is about her, but she's just the most loving and compassionate person. And her and my mom she's the sister I think my mom deserved,
Yeah.
and just not judgmental and has opinions, and we don't have all the same values, but like don't feel judged by her or anything. She's just such a loving woman. I love her so fucking much, dude.
No.
I know she's great. And then before that, I was in LA like pretty much most of July, and then I was with Millie for almost I think a week over 4th of July. And it's cool because now that I was able to go more because I'm out of school. We get to just kick it. It's not like I go to LA. And the first time I went in February, we went and saw like touristy shit and sights. And then when I went in July, I went to a Dodger game, which was super fun. Had some fucking asshole sitting in front of us, and that definitely did not end well because I didn't have a big mouth. But
Were
it
they
was
rooting
fun.
for someone else?
No, it's just like these we are in really good seats. We're like 4 or 5 rows behind home plate. And they were playing the Diamondbacks, and it's just these guys in front of us. It was like a guy, a girlfriend, a guy, and I'm like in front of the girlfriend, and then the last guy, and he just kept the whole entire game he was talking shit to the Diamondbacks. I mean, the Dodgers were losing by 12. Like you're nowhere
Like
close.
at
And
some point, give up, brother.
dude, I just couldn't handle it. And then he starts saying, "You're a midget." And then he's talking to this dude about your brother's a felon. And I fucking had it. And finally, I just said, "Can you just stop now? Like you're doing too much.
Yeah.
Everybody around us is annoyed." And he made a comment back. And then you know me, like one, I don't respond well to men saying shit to me.
Yeah.
I get overly aggressive because that's just like my own trigger stuff. I was also drinking, and then he just kept going. Finally, I was like, I started just going off. Fuck you, bitch boy. I was saying a lot of shit, and he wouldn't stop. And finally, and then what he made the mistake of saying is he said, "Wait till we get to the top."
Okay.
And I said, "When we get to the top, I'm gonna whoop your girlfriend's ass." And the girlfriend was cool. No, you could tell the girls and the other dude were not trying to be a part of it. They probably were equally annoyed with him.
Oh, I'm sure he embarrasses them all the time.
Well, it's just like, and then he was like, "These are nice." You could just tell he's a very privileged person. These are nice seats. And I was like, "Yeah, so why are you acting like this? Like, just enough now, you know?"
Let us
So
enjoy the game.
just shut up. Like, fuck. But it was nice. I'd never been to Dodger Stadium. One of my like dream vacations is going to like multiple ballparks, so that was another one I got to check off my list. Anytime I get to spend with Millie, obviously I cherish. Got to meet some of her fiance's family. His brothers went there 4th of July. His little niece, only granddaughter in the family, who I'm obsessed with, Rosie. She's so freaking cute, like the cutest baby I've ever seen.
Hmm.
I just loved his family. Like I love when I get to spend time with my friend's family, as you know, because it's like I feel closer to you. So I just had a really good time. Always have a good time being around her. As you know, she's amazing. So
I love it.
yeah.
And you went back. Yeah, you did go back. I feel like a few times, huh?
Yeah. I mean, since they've moved there, I've been there like 3 times. I was there for Super Bowl, 4th of July, and then just recently I went to a music festival with her. So yeah. And then hopefully I'll see her in November.
And then when did you took a trip with your mom to Arizona too? Was that during summer?
Oh no, that was spring break. We went to Arizona spring break, like baseball spring break. That was for her 65th.
That I feel like you had a great time doing that.
I mean, I love sports, so for me, like anything sports related was super fun. I mean, I do not know how people live in Arizona.
I don't
How
either. Like
anybody
like
from
people's shoes and tires are melting and stuff.
I could not understand. We were in April. We were at the game for probably my mom's a Dodgers fan. We went to the game for probably 45 minutes and I was like, this fucking sucks. The one thing I will say, I was not a big Arizona fan. Everything's way too spread out. You have to drive everywhere. Like from where we stay to get to Phoenix, it was already like 35 minutes on a 2-lane highway. So when we had an early flight, they were like, you need to get there like 3 hours early because to get out of here on a Monday morning with the traffic is crazy. So it's just like it just wasn't my favorite place. But we stayed at a casino, the Harris Casino there, because I get comps. And the resort pool was like insane. It was so nice. So we were just getting like buckets of beers and chilling by the pool and like eating good dinners, and it was fun. I enjoy spending one-on-one time with my mom. She's not as stressed when it's just her and I.
Yeah. Because
So
I mean, well, she plays a big role in all the kiddos' lives
yep,
that like
yep.
then mom is on. And so it's like she gets to actually relax.
Yeah, which is so nice. So it was a good time. But I want to hear about your trips.
So I'm trying to I feel like I did a lot more than I did, but I went to Louisiana for a wedding, a family wedding, and of Casey's. So my fiance's wedding, family wedding. And it was probably the worst trip I've ever been on.
Oh my God, dude.
And I hate saying that because I've had up until that point 100% success rate with my vacation. So I guess I'll take one out of all of the ones that we end up taking every year.
But you curate a lot of them is why. Did you think about that?
I did
sorry,
not.
when I first thought about this, when you were saying it in my mind, I'm like, yeah, they're great because you're the one that's like planning everything.
I'm like, oh yeah, I did exactly what I wanted to do.
Yeah, oh, wow, this is a great trip. Whoever planned this did a fucking excellent job. It's like, oh, it's me.
But so we stayed for 10 days and it literally something happened every single day that we were there. We thought we were on like some freaking haunted ancestral, like a homeland or
you were like a prank show.
I was like, well, yeah, is Ashton Kutcher going to come out? Like, what the hell's happening? I mean, her sister lost a toenail, like straight off from like a door. Our whole house ended up with COVID. I came home with like that was the sickest I've ever been, and same as you, I don't get sick very often. I was laid out. I had bronchitis. I had an ear infection. It was like terrible.
Didn't you have to go to the ER like twice or something?
I went to urgent care twice. The first time to get like everything, steroids, antibiotics, everything that they need to like make me human again. And then the second time I couldn't hear out of it was like all muffled still for like a couple of weeks. And so I went back and I was like, dude, am I gonna be able to hear ever again? But it just needed to like drain, I guess. And it took a lot longer because I'm also one that I don't take medication. And in that case, when the whole house was getting sick and taking like Sudafed and Dayquil or whatever, like I probably should have jumped on that bandwagon. Instead, I was like,
that's one thing Gotina said we talked about. She's like, I kept telling her to like take meds. I was like, dude, she doesn't take meds. And she's like, yeah, but in that, I was like, oh no, I'm not. Yes, defending her, but also not. I was like, because I also don't take medication. Like I do my best to just get through it.
My body's gonna fight this.
Yeah, like I'm fucking strong. Stupid, because COVID don't give a fuck.
No, it did not at all. So I was like, vitamin C and ibuprofen was like kind of what I was living off of. And that didn't work by the time. And then on top of that, you're just, the good parts of that trip were getting to like spend some quality time with Casey's family that I don't get to spend that much quality time with, and getting to like know her sister's sister. So her sister is technically her sister-in-law, her sister. It was like really great to like hang out with the extended family and spend some time with them. And but I mean, we were staying up late every single night, drinking so much alcohol, like my body just didn't know what to do. You know what I mean? Like my immune system was already shot. And then on top of that, I'm like refusing to take medication. So I did it to myself a little bit, but yeah.
I mean, I remember when you guys told me you're going and I'm like, wait, because we were going to plan, we were like, we're going to go to Switzerland, all these things. You're like, we got to go to a wedding for 2 weeks in Louisiana in what, July?
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. I've been there in July. It's so fucking hot. Love it. For the record, love. Like New Orleans is one of my favorite places I've ever been in the world.
We didn't even get to go.
And you did. That was the thing I was the most sad about for you is like you had a trip day plan. Didn't you have a day trip plan there?
Yep. And that was that morning. Cotina and I both tested positive.
Oh my God.
So got shut down. But I mean, by that time, everybody was just kind of like, what the hell else is going to happen? And so we just did our best. That was the same day that toenail got lost too.
Oh my, what was the point of staying that long? Was it just to vacation or?
Yeah. So we were kind of, since that was like our bigger summer trip that we had planned, we were just like, hey, we can hit up New Orleans. We can like really explore Lafayette and hang out. And we went a few days early so that if they needed help with the wedding, we would be there. And so we did help with the wedding because the bride ended up with COVID. And so she was laid out up until the wedding and, did her best to help with what she could. And then afterwards, we were just planning on like exploring and, enjoying our time there. So if I could go back in time, I would have saved that PTO and would have just went to the
Girl.
wedding and bounced.
Girl.
It was definitely, I don't have a desire to go like rush back to Louisiana
No,
anytime.
you literally, I said, so safe to say you are not going to go back to Louisiana anytime soon. You said Casey will have to drag me kicking and screaming.
Yeah. That was you. We got to talk to you fresh off of the vacation. So
you were, oh yeah, I was like, I get why, and I love that you're being so kind. But you both were just, when I saw you guys, you had, and I get it, because it really was one thing after. You didn't even mention how that was when the whole technology shut down, so flights were canceled.
So yeah, so part of the family couldn't even make it out there. There was the whole Microsoft shutdown, and so there was quite a few people that didn't even make it to the wedding, including our closer family members. And then the Olympics started, which that was cool, but then there was all this like drama around the opening ceremonies and like you know how everybody gets really political and stuff. And then Joe Biden dropped out of the race. Like there was all these like felt like big heavy life things happening all in that like little 10-day window. It was so crazy.
I mean, there are a lot of big life things happening, which we could touch on. But yeah, that sounds wild.
It was, and then it was wild, and we couldn't like wait to get home essentially. And then we get home and I'm still sick. Casey's like, I need to take you to urgent care because you look gross and you sound gross, and I'm over this.
She's like, actually, let me slip that ring right off your finger.
I'm gonna go ahead and take that.
Rescind.
I mean,
rescind.
She's definitely never seen me like that because luckily I don't get sick very often, and I have kind of a high tolerance for it. So even when I am feeling under the weather, I'm still like going, and people don't usually notice that like I'm sick. I was like, I couldn't sleep for multiple weeks because I was coughing my head off. By the time I went to the urgent care, the morning I woke up, my eyes were like crusted closed because the ear infection had like spread to my eyes, and essentially it was like pink eye, but I didn't need drops or anything. It was just from the ear infection. But I was like, okay, we need to go, and I need to get like something. This is gross. In case
you got freaking pink eye, somebody farted in your face.
No buttholes were in my. I didn't even get to the fun way.
Damn, no butthole pleasures, and that's why you got pink eye.
No, I know. So yeah, that was my Louisiana trip. And we've relived it a couple of times, and all 10 days we were able to go. Like Wednesday we flew in, this happened. Thursday we flew in, this happened. Like, all right, Thursday this happened, Friday this happened. So it was like day by day retelling of the story. It was wild. That was the craziest vacation I've ever been on. But then we did a makeup vacation and went to Hawaii with Kotina and Aaron and another couple, which is their best friend. Yeah. And it was a short trip. It was just 5 days, but it was amazing. The entire time was amazing. It definitely made up for the Louisiana
Thank God.
stuff. I know. But we had an awesome time, got to spend like good quality time with them and kind of meet new people. I knew the other couple, but didn't really get never really hung out with them much. And so they were super chill. Everybody was on the same like wavelength. Like, you do what you want to do. If you're relaxing on the, at the house, we had a beautiful Airbnb that was right on the beach. So everybody was just kind of doing their thing.
If I fucking see you do this in any pictures though,
I feel like we hardly even took any pictures.
I swear to God on my life, I can't stand that shit.
Probably did.
Yeah, that's fine. But I hate like when people do the aloha or what is this, hang loose? It's like, fuck, come on, dude. Come on.
I feel like people go like this too. Like it's like not even.
It's kind of funny because one of my mentees this year she's a new teacher and she's from Hawaii.
Why did she move here? Why'd she move here?
So her aunt and uncle, her dad is from this area, from Sacramento, like Auburn area. Mom's from Hawaii. They met when they were young and he's lived there for, 40, 50 years, whatever. But mom's from Hawaii. So she moved here to go, I think, to Sac State. And then she lives in up in that area, until she's done with like her credential and all that. But I asked her, I said, I have to tell you, like, it just bugs me. Like, I hate when people, because to me, it's still like cultural appropriation, like, especially like so many native Hawaiian indigenous families are dislocated there because people move there, and it's kind of like everywhere. It gets gentrified, rents go up, and people can't afford to live. It's like so many native Hawaiians do not live in Hawaii. And
Yeah.
it's just sad, like the culture's dying, the language is dying, and I think the people that go there and appropriate it, I just don't like it. It's like a thing I just can't stand. And I was asking her about it. I mean, she's a really nice girl, and she got real fired up about it. And was like, yeah, it's like no one could afford to live there. I don't even know how my family's been able to afford it. And it's like extreme poverty in a lot of places. And so anytime I fucking see somebody do this, I'm just like, please stop. Like it's so embarrassing. It's so add that to the ick list. It's icky, and I hate it.
Is that equivalent to this?
Oh God, I hate honestly, I hate this more than I hate the thumb.
Okay. I'm gonna make sure that I give you a couple of these.
You're the wrong person I should not be telling this shit to. It's like when people say mahalo when they get back, like mahalo. It's like, bitch, just say fucking thank you. Or like or come back from Mexico like adios. Like, no, just when you're there, like, yes, try to be respectful of the space you're in, but come on.
Just remember when we got back from Thailand, though. Sawadika.
Kapunka. I wasn't fucking walking around Midtown doing that shit. I wasn't going on my mom's and bowing to her when she was making me a plate. Like
we were just doing that to each other.
Yeah, it was more of a joke between us, but like, yeah, hell no, I'm not fucking coming back and doing that. Like, remember that one ham sandwich? It's not as good as the one I had in Europe though. Like, I'm not doing that shit. It's so weird.
Dude.
I hate it.
All right, what else did you do?
So yeah, then I went to Mexico for I think 8 days for Millie's 30th, which was cool. We went to this
a lot of Millie time.
Dude, tons. Which is nice because it's nice that she's a teacher too, because in the summer we make up for lost time, Yeah. She was such like an active part of my daily life when she lived here that, I mean, I've obviously gotten used to it now, and I think she has too, and I'm way less social since she left, and I think she probably is too, which is for both of us we love, but we kind of make up for lost time, so that's nice. But went to this little city called Sayulita that she wanted to go to and loved. It's basically like you fly into PV and it's like a 30-minute drive. We had our Airbnb had like a car service they use, and we just took advantage of and fucking rented a golf cart, smashed, had this like our own private pool. So the first night, we just like jump in the pool, we're lit all night until we go out and go to this first bar and meet these cool people. We end up going to this bar every day and having a drink with them, and tons of good food. Still felt very authentic. Like most people didn't speak English, which I had the advantage of having her and Christina there, and they speak Spanish. But then we went to a resort, and that shit was garbage. Dude, it was weird because it was almost like we had 2 trips.
Yeah.
Like we spent like 4 or 5 days in Sayulita, and then we spent 3 days at the Dreams Resort. And we went through so many places, and we wanted to stay in a certain area. Now I kind of wish we would have stayed in a different area, because I think we would have found a lot better of a place. But just the food was garbage. The service was decent at best. And I will say, I wasn't obviously complaining when I was there as bad as I am now, because what are you going to do? You're there.
Yeah.
But for anybody who's listening who's been to Xcadet, which I know a lot of people have, and that's where Bridget and I went for my 40th, there is no resort in the world I've been to, even in Krabi, that can even hold a candle to that place. And so many people are like, it's so expensive. It is worth every fucking cent. Think of the best experience you've had in any trip and times that by 10. The food is insane. The drinks are great. There's vegan options. There's vegetarian options. There's paddle boarding. There's every activity you could possibly want to do is included with a nightly show. Like, it's not a corny, cheesy. It's like a beautifully constructed, like, environmentally conscious. I just love it. So in Dream's defense, that is my first big resort experience. And then Krabi, which was obviously amazing. Mm-hmm. So then we go to this resort where it's like the food is mid as fuck, if even that. The pool, there was like 2 pools, and it was like being in bath water. It was hot, and it was just like you couldn't swim because it was so packed. And again, we went in July. Then we walked to it's like this area of Puerto Vallarta called the Malecon, and we walked around there, and it was like, it's just touristy shops and food and gelato places and shit like that, where I'm like, this is just not my scene.
Yeah,
you
because
know,
it doesn't feel like,
authentic.
yeah, because they're catering to like all the tourists. And so I feel like even when we were in Thailand and we experienced, I feel like we had 4 different vacations, right?
Oh
Because
my
we
God.
experienced all the different, Chiang Mai and um Bangkok and stuff, and it felt different everywhere, but I do feel like some of the more touristy spots we went to sucked. Like
We hated Phuket.
because it was just like you can tell they're catering to tourists, and like we wanted the authentic experience and the authentic food, and
Yeah. I I think that's the thing as I get older, I'm able to afford more. I gotta like adjust. I'm hell uncomfortable. I can afford more. But the thing I've loved about backpacking and like why I've done it so many times and stayed in, I mean, even in Thailand, I stayed in a couple hostels is because I crave that connection and authentic experience. Like there's nothing to me better. And you've even experienced this when we did like I don't remember what the name of the festival is, Clusterfest, right? Like being in that community room at that hostel and just like meeting people and walking around San Francisco, which already has its own vibe. Like that's what I love about travel. So being at this resort, it just felt very like I don't know. Christina kind of said she's like, I feel like a lot of people who live in Mexico come here, so it's like, and I was like, yeah, I guess, it's just like the check in was the initial, and I'm like, this sucks. Like, it's why is this so uncomfortable and taking such a long time? And a lot of it was because they were trying to get us to sign up for like a timeshare presentation. I was like, no, like, give me my keys. Let me get the fuck out of here. Like,
yeah.
just annoying in that sense, So food was just gross. Like it wasn't good. There's like one good meal, and I cherish the times I got to spend with my friends. That was the best part of it.
Mm-hmm.
But everything else, I was just like, why did we leave Sayulita? That we should have stayed here.
Yeah, resorts in general, I think are hit and miss, and even some like hotels as well, like food wise, because sometimes it's just like super bland because they are catering to like so many different people. And so I've even been to like really fancy work events, but there's just so many people there that like the food sucks when it's like presented so nicely, but then it's
Yep.
like this has no flavor, or they're just trying to cater to too many different palates, and it's like, no, make your authentic shit and people will either eat it or they won't.
Yep. 100%. So yeah, the trip I was definitely like, I think we came home Monday. By Sunday, I think everybody was like ready to come home. You know, eight
Yeah.
days is kind of a long time, and it felt like a longer trip than it was because we went to 2 different places, and we probably could have done Sayulita and went home, and it would have been like good for everybody.
Mhm.
But it was fun regardless. We got to celebrate Millie. There was a lot of good times. Got stuck on the first night like an insane rainstorm, and literally we're just dripping wet, walking around, laughing our asses off.
That's the
Um,
best.
it was so fun smashing around in a golf cart. That was really. I love a fucking quad in a golf cart.
Yep.
So that was really fun. And then yeah, came home and just like did a bunch of paddleboarding and tried to go camping again. Didn't work out, but just did shit like that until I had to go back to work. And now I'm back. Now I'm back, baby.
I'm back, baby.
Busier than ever. Kind of in a weird transition, not like a weird transition, but in a transition with work. I've been talking about it and got to see my boss last year is now the director. She's the big bitch now.
Hey.
And I love her because she takes care of people. If she likes you and she trusts you, she takes care of you, and she's really taking care of me. She's pushing for me to like level up, and she's like the main driving force and believes in me. And there's like no better feeling when you have a leader that is sees what you're capable of and gives you the freedom to do stuff. And she's always done that for me, and she's gonna push me into a different tax bracket. And I'm excited about that finally. And
Hey.
it's going to be a job I actually want to do and not a job I'm doing for more money. So that's even more exciting. And by January, I should be in that position. So fingers crossed, everything works out. They got to get through some big hoops, but yeah.
No, I think that's awesome too when you like actually have people around you that see you, right? And like see what you're capable of, see what you're doing. Sometimes they see like what you're capable of before you can even recognize it in yourself. And so I'm so appreciative of like so many people in my life that have like helped me inside and outside of work like navigate that and see something in
Dude.
me that like has inspired me to go down a path I didn't, I wouldn't have thought I was going to take, which is
Well,
awesome.
it's wild because I think that so much about just I think I don't know if I've said on here, but Kaiser kind of started this easier way of getting therapy, and it's through like a dashboard, and you don't have to do the old thing where you have to call, get an approval, and then you still have to get the approval, but it's fast. It's just more streamlined. And so they connected me with this therapist. I was doing EMDR, and then Kate moved out, and it was like it was kind of unaffordable for me at that point, almost $200 a session, and I just like can't do that. So doing EMDR again with a different therapist who I really, really like. And I think I was telling you this the other night, but she hit me like the first consultation hit me with the like, how are you so normal? Because I have so much trauma, like, I mean, so much that I don't think people even realize sometimes. So it feels, my point of all this is it feels good to hear that, because I think we don't always think, we don't see or think that about ourselves. And I think because I have such a strong personality, I constantly get reminded, especially at work, of I don't want people to respect me because they fear me, but that's what it feels like. Because I constantly have people like, a girl made a comment at work a couple weeks ago where I was like, that's weird. Like I told them to blah, blah, blah. I don't know why. Then she was like, that's because everybody's scared of you. And I was like, what? And she's like, everybody's scared of you. And I'm like, you guys have no reason to be scared of me. You do not know how much of a little chicken shit I am. Like, but like they don't know me on like a personal level, and they never will. Yeah. But when you hear that kind of shit, hearing that, especially in a professional setting, it makes me be like, fuck, because there's been a lot of people around me that have pushed me, and I've been really grateful for that. And I'm like, I want to revert back, Yeah.
And I think sometimes maybe people are just intimidated by what you're bringing to, and so maybe fear is not necessarily the right way to explain it. Hopefully, I mean, I couldn't imagine people being like scared of you. You're also one that like comes in like different costumes and shit. Like,
what do you think, I'm gonna fucking Freddy Krueger your ass? Like, what the fuck you think I'm gonna do? I'm gonna fight you in the hallway? I mean, some bitches I would, because fuck, I can't stand them, but like, I'm not going to,
I'm not, I've thought about it. I'm not going to.
No, of course. I mean, I had in our very first like whole team meeting, I had a service provider snap my head off, literally, because I asked like an opposing question and clarification. And this is in front of like 60 people, like psychs, speech therapists, the whole ECSE teacher team. And she snapped at me so hard, unprovoked. And when I tell you, it felt like everybody turned around and looked at me for my response. All eyes were on me, and I just was like, I just smiled. And I remember my friend Allison being like, I could feel the heat coming off of you, but I did not give her a response. And I was so fucking proud, even though God, there's 7, cause me, I'm a clap back. I'm gonna fucking hurt your feelings so quick. And I didn't, cause I was just like, maybe this is post 40, like we were talking about. Why?
Yeah. What is that why? Gonna
do? This person is like in their 50s. My comment back is not going to change the fact that they're a fucking bitch.
Well, and you probably left it to where she definitely continued to look like a bitch.
Yes.
That you can't ask a question without fucking, just because it is like different than what she would want to be asked. Like that's pretty stupid.
And guess who lives inside my asshole, and I don't give him the time of day.
Same person, I'd imagine.
Same person, and you only will get the responses that are necessary out of me moving forward. That's why I always say, like, talking about people that you've been around for, I'm sure you can account to this too. Like, you have to be kind to people. You really don't know. That person could be your boss soon.
Yeah.
That person could be in a position to help you. And I feel like as a teacher, we're a community of people that always need help. I'm 12 years in, and there's shit that I'm like, wait, how do I do? I literally text Allison today, like, what do I do for this again? She's like, I'm like, this and this. She's like, yep. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. It's a field that's growing no matter what. So, you should always be kind to people until I'm not condoning accepting bad behavior. If a bitch claps, clap back.
Yeah.
But like, also be mindful, because you really don't know.
Yeah, for sure. And you always want to just keep that open relationship anyways, to your point, when you need help or if they become your damn boss.
That's happened to me multiple times. I've gotten jobs from being kind to people when other people weren't, because I'm also not a bandwagon type of bitch. So I'm like, if you don't like something, I don't fuck with them, period. But I'm saying, like, if somebody at work's like, a lot of people don't like this person, I'm like, they've been cool to me until they're not. 9 times out of 10, they end up not, right? Like,
yeah.
they where there's smoke, there's fire. But until you're not, I'm gonna be fine with you. I don't care if you pissed my coworker off. That's their fucking problem. Like, you know?
What'd Jenna do?
Yeah, yeah. Why does everybody hate her? Like, oh, we're all hating her this month.
Okay,
But yeah,
good.
so how's everything going with your job?
Good. My job's going good. It's been just busy. Still trying to like pretty much train somebody to be like my counterpart. And so hopefully by January I'll have that. But lots of travel too. I went to like Canada and Irvine a bunch of times, and where else did I go? Vegas.
Oh yeah, I forgot you went to Canada.
Dallas, Vegas. Just a bunch of trips. So like on top of the just like vacation travel, I feel like I've just been on a plane for, I mean, before we went to Hawaii, I was in Irvine, came home, slept in my bed less than 12 hours. We were on a plane to Hawaii, came back from Hawaii, was home less than 12 hours, went back to Irvine for 3 days. So it was just like, go, go, go. I needed to like calm down. Luckily the travel has slowed down a little bit and it'll be more local, but it was, oh, actually I lie because I'm going to Washington in a couple of weeks.
Dude, I get so sad when you get to go to Vegas because I'm like, she doesn't even like Vegas. Like, it's fucking unfair.
I like Vegas.
I fucking I love. We were talking about this at work today where everybody's like, because I like musicals. So like Vegas now is not, I think you think of Vegas and people are like, oh, she's a rager. Yes. When I was 22 and I was going to Vegas, I was fucking up all night at the clubs till 6, doing all the shits. Yeah. I don't make it past like 11 now. So you know what I want to do? I want to fucking rip cigs at a slot machine. I want to drink my fucking martinis. I want to eat a really good meal and go see a show. That's what I like to do and shop. Like, that's the thing about Vegas I like.
I'm good.
yeah, right? Like, everything is accessible. That's why I like Vegas. There's good shopping. There's excellent musicals and people that are doing, like, residencies. If you want to go during pool season, the pool parties are fun. Or you can just get a cabana and kick it at the spa. Like, the first all-naked spa I went to was in Vegas, and that was fucking awkward as shit. I didn't like it. Yeah, Tiffany and I went, dude, at the Caesars, and everyone's just, it's like, it's Vegas, so everybody's like, it's not the bodies you want to see. I mean, it was Vegas, so there's fucking some bodies I like to see. Like, I'm not gonna lie, like I wasn't side-eyeing. Oh, I was peripheral, like looking there, but looking over there,
Titties.
Yeah, just it was titty soup everywhere. Like, it was sick. But they had all these different rooms. You guys should do this because it was sick. They have all these different themed rooms. There was like a cold room. So it not like a cold plunge, but it was like a room you sit in that's like freezing cold. But it snows and the snow is lotion.
Oh my God.
It was fucking sick, dude. It was so tight.
You're all sliding all over. And
literally.
This is a good segue to P. Diddy.
I was just gonna say that. I was just gonna say this is our segue to the fucking diddler.
Oh my God, dude. I know. We already like have been talking about this, but what the fuck is happening?
This world is fucking ending. And then I'm sorry. Yeah, I know sometimes I get my news from TikTok, but I want to know who the fuck else is going down.
Dude, I need to see this list, like the real list.
Who else is going down?
Yes.
Who do you think it is?
I for sure think Jay-Z is, because his name keeps coming up like nobody's business. And
Dude.
then like the conspiracy of like him killing his ex that was pregnant, and then that's like Blue Ivy. Like, this shit, when they're putting these pieces together, I'm like, I'm sold on this storyline right now.
I know, I hate to be like a dummy dum-dum who's like on TMZ or like, but I can't imagine the amount of work they had to put in to even arrest this to the first raid.
Dude,
the amount of money and power he has, like the first raids they did, and then for it to happen, a couple months later where he gets arrested, and all the people, I'm sorry if this sounds rude, all the people that are I'm sliding, talking about his kids and like, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
He wasn't giving a fuck about none of these minors that he was sexually assaulting. He wasn't giving a fuck about these minors who were somebody's children that he was selling their bodies, these 12-year-old girls getting fucked by old men. Fuck his kids. Dude. You're about to learn what real reality is like, and maybe not his younger ones, but your older kids, the ones that are over 18 or maybe in high school, they fucking know what was going on.
Honestly, I feel bad for them in the sense that he probably had them involved in some of it.
100% he did.
Like, as they got older, and I'm sure they all have seen shit and been part of shit. Like,
100%. The oldest one, Quincy's not even his son. He's Albie Shure's
yeah.
son, who, like, obviously I know who that is because I love that music. But Albie Shure's son and Kim Porter was his mom, and he doesn't talk to his biological dad, or he didn't, because Diddy was like the person taking care of him. But it's like, yeah, you're choosing the side of fame, you're choosing the side of money,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And it's like, now what? As fast as you go up, it's as hard as you can fall down.
Dude, I don't know. Who else do you think? Like, I mean, obviously Usher and Justin Bieber, like,
You think Usher's like a part of it though, or do you think he's a victim of it? Because I'm
I
gonna be
feel
so sad.
I'm going victim just because my heart I don't think I could take Usher being a
Oh my God, I'll
perpetrator.
fucking cry, dude.
I don't think I can. And then like I just don't know what music are we supposed to listen to?
I think Ja Rule.
You think he's involved?
I'm kind of hoping. I've never liked him, but I love his music. Fucking Ja Rule
Melody,
Pandora. Let me put y'all,
melody.
dude. Let me put y'all on Ja Rule Pandora. If you wanted to hit that, you know how many bars I've gone to where I'm like, hey, put on Ja Rule Pandora, and they're like, no, that's lame. I'm like, trust me. And it's fucking everybody's in there
Trust me.
slapping. I'm like, give me my free drink because fuck you. You know, it's
Oh,
so good. But him as a little person, I can't stand. He's just he creeps me out. So I think he's a part of it. I'm trying to think of who else. I definitely think that I've always thought that Diddy has something to do with Tupac.
dude. Yes, and I've always like prayed that Tupac was still alive somewhere and just like hiding out.
Like, yeah, like fucking I've been waiting for this day, like redemption, you know?
He just pops out of nowhere. But I
Right?
think he just recorded so much music. Remember, that was like the whole thing for like 10 years because he kept having new music that was coming out and everyone was like, what the fuck? But he just probably recorded so much shit.
Yeah. Clive Davis, that's a big one.
You think Clive is
Oh, I
involved?
think so many people are saying Clive Davis is like the ringleader. It's like Clive Davis, Jay-Z, and Beyonce keep coming up. I know. I mean, this is the thing. Fucking please don't kill me, whoever's listening to this. I don't get obsessive with anything. I'm not like a fangirl type of personality. So like I recognize the talent, the dedication, like the quality of and detail and everything that Beyonce and like Taylor Swift put into everything they do. I just am not like I wasn't crying if Michael Jackson either, you know, like that's just not my type. There's been music all those people have made that have touched me at different points in my life, but that doesn't mean low key they're not monsters. We don't know that.
Yeah. And I feel like this is indeed the year that like shit is surfacing everywhere. Like people's little dark secrets are coming to light. So
Yeah, I agree. And I fucking hope with our upcoming election, like people see what fucking power can do, you know?
I mean, let's talk about that for a second too, because I'm gonna lose my mind with that. Like the one of the people running for president again, his little dark secrets have already come out and people are still behind it. Like we're talking about
At least three minors on that
basic
list.
human rights. This is not even about policies right now. Like, yes, the policies are important. I've yet to hear anything come out of his mouth that sounds like it would help the majority of people.
Yeah, and
And
the
I've been
rebuttal is always
following those.
like, well, the rebuttal is always like, what's Kamala gonna do? She hasn't done anything so far. What's she gonna do for us? And I'm like, I cannot with like, let me bust out my scroll of fact sheets because I just can't deal with it. And I saw
Dude,
this thing the other day that this guy was like, at the end, oh, it was the girl that I reposted where she was like, at the end of the day, don't tell me who you're voting for. I don't care.
yeah.
Because all you're telling me if you are voting for Trump is that you are a racist, you're a misogynist, you're a xenophobe, you're a homophobe. I don't know how to explain to people that you are who you align with.
Mm-hmm.
If you align with a man who is going to be open about his disdain for people with disabilities, people that are not white, let's just say what it is, people that are not white, people that are not from this country, quote unquote, like people that are of different sexual orientation, then you align with his values. So I assume you align with all that too.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about the tax bracket bullshit or the money or the tax breaks. You're not getting a fucking tax break. You don't make enough money to get a tax break. New argument.
And the fact that like people are still saying like I had more money when Trump was in office. They're still again like Biden is now dealing with Trump's shit and Trump's tax law and shit that he's still like having to deal with. Like that's not how that works.
They don't understand basic
all
California,
of that can't happen in like the 4 years, and then you're going to live and breathe it in that 4 years. There's only so many things that will be impactful immediately. Most of the time it's impactful later in the next term or the next term. And so like the shit that Trump did, like we're going to continue to feel that for multiple terms of presidents. And so I feel like nobody's perfect. I would be lying to you right now if I thought that one side was better than the other in the sense that like their policies, but no, I wouldn't be lying because the policies that have been presented on one side versus the other has been better. But just in general, like there's going to be flaws with any side of this, but we're talking about human decency here. Like,
and we're also talking about the person who runs our country. Like that's a thing. Even simpler than that, I just sang the praises of my director. Best boss I've ever had. Yeah. I would sing her. I would write 6,000 letters of recommendation. I would marry her firstborn. That's how much I fucking love this bitch. Like, believe in her, lead me to the fucking end of time. I don't love every decision she makes either. There's been a lot of shit she's done that I don't understand. And I've raged against the machine and been like, hey, chill out. This is how it's going to go. And I'm like, cool. I don't know why it's like so extreme where it's like, oh my God, I'm in love with Kamala Harris. No, there's going to be some shit that's going to happen that I'm not going to like either. Right. But it is at the end of the day, and who fucking knows what she is behind closed doors. But at the end of the day, she's not co-signing hate speech.
Yeah. She's not blasting it. And I can't even understand how someone can run for the highest office, like can run for president, but he could not go get a job at McDonald's.
He can't even vote.
Convicted felon.
He can't vote.
He can't even vote.
You can't own a gun.
But you can become president. We are fucked. Why is this even happening? How is this even okay?
You know why? You know why? Because besides the fact that he co-signs hate speech, he allows the fucking idiots to think that they're involved. Before Trump, half the uneducated fucking have never read a book in their life, people who think they have a right to speak on shit that they don't do their research or they don't. Even the educated ones, right? I don't think anybody that I know that has degrees is smarter than anybody else. If you don't fucking read and research the shit that you're just spewing out of your mouth, you're an idiot to me. And so all these people I see, I mean, God damn it, when I open my fucking Facebook, I had to unfriend like 4 people after the first debate. People that I'm like, you live with a parent. Yeah. You don't even have an income. You've been a burden on your family for years. And I'm not even speaking about my own internal shit. I'm speaking about people that I had unfriend on there that I'm like, I know your personal shit. And you think you have a fucking right? You think you're in a good state of mind to say who runs this fucking country? Or the best thing that I love, because I think every motherfucker I've known since I was young forgets about, like, I know your decisions. Yeah. I know that shit. And now all of a sudden you're on a fucking high horse because you married the dude that knocked you up you clearly don't like each other. Now you're on a fucking conservative moral high horse trying to tell women what to do with their bodies when you should have done something with your body. Girl,
come on now.
I cannot. I'm not in people's business in a sense of like telling people how to live their lives. And I have a lot of fucking opinions. Why do you think you get to tell people how to live their life?
Yeah. And I just when you have like people that are really trying to help the majority of people live a good life and a comfortable life and not have to have 17 different incomes and live with a bunch of different family members and friends to make ends meet, like that's what's trying to happen here. That's what we're trying to get to, is to where people can live comfortably.
Yep.
And it's just I just can't even understand it. I think that just since Trump was president, I mean, we're seeing more racism, like just blatantly in our face, right? It always existed. These people always existed. I'm not denying that piece of it, but I feel like it's been, they got a ticket to say like it's okay to just be out and disrespecting people openly like that, and it's too much.
Yep. That's another thing that I'll say, going back to post 40. where I've been, fuck them.
Yeah.
Fuck them. You want to leave my life? Fuck them. Let them go. Right? Everybody I've seen that's left not just my life, but other people's lives around me. I'm like, fucking A, fuck them. Like, you're better off. Because now the shit, I mean, even one of my last relationships, the person that person has become that I've heard about, I'm like, who the fuck did I live with for 4 years? Like, you were this person laying next to me. So you think you're strong, but you basically faked the funk for 4 years because everybody knows I'm a fucking liberal, anti-racist, and you faked that shit for 4 years, bitch. You need a fucking award. Because that's crazy. I was sleeping next to somebody like that.
It's wild. And I think it's wild too. Like, there's a lot of couples that I've like heard of recently. You know, again, I get a lot from TikTok, but it's different social media outlets. And then even with my own like family and friends, like their extension, like of people being in couples that are like, one's MAGA. I won't even say Republican. I think it's okay to be Republican and Democrat and have different views on certain 100%. Things. There's a difference between a Republican and a MAGA supporter. Like those are two 100%. Different humans. So we're not talking about Republican versus Democrat. We're talking about MAGA versus everybody else.
Yep.
That's what's happening here.
Yep.
But like, I couldn't even imagine like being in a relationship with someone that just cared so little about the human race. And
like, how does that reside in your soul is what I don't get. You know what I mean? How does that like get into, how do these things reside in your soul? And a lot of it I feel like is because people co-sign fucking idiocracy. Mm-hmm. They just co-sign it because it gives them the freedom to be an idiot.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, I could say I'm the most outspoken, direct, abrasive person ever. And I know I can't just say whatever the fuck I think. And I don't even have racist, homophobic, xenophobic fucking thoughts in my head.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, I don't know. It's just, I feel like I'm living in the fucking Twilight Zone. I've been talking to my therapist about it a lot because as a woman, like, you know, we touched on the last meeting up, like as a mixed queer woman, like it's terrifying. And it scares me when I see family members, especially family members on my Mexican side that are pro-Trump. I'm like, are you kidding me? Our grandma didn't get citizenship until she was in her 90s. She worked her fucking ass off to make sure everybody's cool. And like, you're just so like the fucking internal, like, fuck misogyny, I guess. I don't know. Like the male sympathizer in you. I don't get it. Like,
I mean, that has to be a big part of it. Like, I can't even like wrap my brain around it. It does not make sense to me. And it infuriates me. It feels like, what the fuck is happening everywhere, right? And I know it's different. We were talking recently too, just like, I think it's different because the amount of information that is in our faces now versus 20 years ago, 30 years ago is much different, right? It's like you pull up anything that you pull up, your email, with talking with your friends at work or whatever, like Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever Twitter is now, X or whatever the hell that is. Whatever that is, it's just like everywhere, right? And then these streams of news, like every news outlet is just replaying the same shit, and it's a lot coming at us. And so I think we're ingesting it a little bit differently, but I just can't wrap my head around what the hell's happening right now.
I just pray that by the time like our next episode comes out, that I pray that there's hope for our country, and that I've seen, you know, I have days where I'm very hopeful because I see people like outspoken, like Republicans again, right? Like, never thought I'd get on anywhere and say like, I actually feel bad for some true Republicans really who are behind their party and being lumped in with this person because it's their candidate, you know. And I appreciate the well-known conservative Republicans who have recently been outspoken about like, we do not support this, we are endorsing Kamala Harris. And I think it's very brave to do that because there's so many scary people that are behind this fucking cult. Scary people that are willing to do scary shit to people that like things that they don't agree with. There's just no integrity, there's no ethics, there's no class. It's so confrontational. And getting deeper with myself, that's what scares me. because I'm about that fucking life, right? If somebody's going to challenge me and it gets physical, like I am about that shit. So if that's what it comes to, and that's what scares me because I don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Not too either.
No, I don't. But everybody knows, like, if it comes down to it, like, especially when it comes to topics I'm so passionate about, I'm gonna speak up, and you can't have a healthy debate with people.
Yeah.
You can't have a healthy interaction without it going physical, because ultimately a lot of the people that behave that way, and I'm guilty of being that way in my younger years, when there's no way to defend myself because I don't have the words or I haven't educated myself on a topic, the only way to defend yourself is to get physical. If you think you can overpower that person, right? That's what aggression is. And I'm guilty of that in my 20s, right? But like, I educated myself now, and sometimes I'm dealing with people my own age that have not caught up to that. And that scares me.
Yeah. It is extremely terrifying. And I feel like I agree with you. I hope that the next time we're sitting down talking for our next episode, it's gonna feel a little different and not be
if there is a next time,
so heavy. I know.
That's the scary part. Like we said the other day, we're gonna be I'm gonna be at the fucking Coles on the Handmaid's Tale. We're gonna be in Gilead. I'd make a fire ass handmaid. Like I know that because I got skills, but like I don't want to be.
I don't want to be. Well, let's leave on a high note.
Yeah.
We got during the summertime too, we had a brand new baby nephew that was born, and he's just cute as pie. So been getting to spend some time with him, which is nice because all of my other nieces and nephews have gotten older and their own attitudes, and he's still squishy and small and smells like a baby, not like crop dusting at me as he's walking by. So
can't talk back.
No, can't talk back. He just smiles.
Oh, you hella froze. There you go. I love that. I love that. I love to smell new babies. I don't have any new babies in my family, but I have new babies in my work family. Kayla's baby is so fucking cute. So that's exciting. And my friend Allie just had her baby. She actually has shit ton of babies at my work. I'm like, don't drink the water around here for real.
Seriously.
But yeah, well, congratulations. I know that's exciting for your guys' family.
Yeah. So that's been nice. Cool. Anything else? I know that this has been a long update, and we'll have some additional updates to sprinkle out throughout hopefully the season. Thanks for hanging with us and being patient while we were taking our extra extended summertime
10-day New Orleans trip.
Yeah. We had to extend it, guys. I had to go to Hawaii to make up for it.
Hey, also too, like, thank you to everybody that stays listening. Melissa and I are always open to guests. I know we've kind of gone towards in the last like 2 years being more open about our own lives and the highs and the lows. We still have a lot of people that's on our dream list of guests that have been, a lot of challenging subjects that have been really hard to lock down. But if anybody has any topics they want us to like find a guest for, let us know. Like we're totally open to bringing people on, that have something that they think aligns with our vision of impacting communities. Like as fun as it would be to have friends come on here and just bullshit with us, we could do that without a camera. So definitely people that align with like what our purpose is.
Yep.
So
holla
back.
Holla at us. Well, I love you, babe. It's been a great season.
I love you too.
4 opener.
It's season 4.
All right. Love you.
Okay, love you.
Life is a beautiful mess. A beautiful mess.